Hey everybody, welcome to the 1.5 release video for my app Second Thought. Second Thought is a voice-driven thinking tool that helps me turn my thoughts into words, smooth out my ideas, and really helps me revisit them when I need clarity. Let's start with going over a couple of the changes that I've made in the app, and then I'll go over the new feature. So the first change that I want to talk about today is around prompts. Prompts give Second Thought value because they reduce the friction when interacting with AI. Once you have a prompt written, you both remove a step in the user flow as well as you have a more dependable and consistent response. I wanted to surface prompts on the home screen and give the user a way to manage them. So now you're able to go to prompts and view them all, but also kind of organize them in a way that works for you. You can spotlight a prompt where you can see the human readable description, but also the context and scope with which we're submitting prompts to the AI. You can edit your prompt, you can edit the title, the description, and the emoji. And then you can also add a tag so that prompts are sorted in a way that works for you. So the next change that I made is I added this quick record button onto the home screen. I found that sometimes I want to immediately record something because maybe I'm in the context of the situation. A point of friction that I found was I don't like navigating to the project while I'm in that moment. I would rather record first and then put that recording into a project later. The way that this works is just like any other recording, you just select quick record and start recording. Then when you're done, you can select the project that you want to put the recording into. I've also added a small confirmation where if you have a recording made but you haven't submitted it to be saved, there's just a modal that confirms, hey, if you leave, you're going to lose this recording. So another change that I want to point out is under projects, you used to only be able to refresh project insights with this button at the bottom, reprocess insights. I didn't like that because it meant I had to reprocess everything and it took a long time. But now there's this little refresh button so you can refresh individual insights. I think it'll make it faster when interacting with the app. So yeah. The final change that I made today is in the context of projects. So for example, in Daily Journal, a user can right now interact with the AI using the full context of all the recordings in the project. Now that I've introduced this concept of a reusable prompt, I want to be able to use those prompts in this moment. So for example, for my daily journals, maybe I want to look at the themes. What happens is the submission part of the prompt is given to the AI, and then you get this full response. What's nice is I've added the ability to copy it to your clipboard so that you can drop that into an email, into Slack, or a text message. Yeah. So the new feature that I'm introducing in this release is called a burst. And you can access bursts through the homepage. So what is a burst? A burst is a fast, effortless, disposable user flow where you're going to take just a blob of text and just run it through a reusable prompt. I use bursts a lot in the context of maybe I'm trying to figure out the right way to word a text message or a Slack message. I will just word vomit it into the app and then have it transcribe. And because I'm using one of my reusable prompts, I'm getting the same thing every time I reach for this burst. Let's say I was at work, right? And I wanted to use this work message refinement prompt or burst that I created. Basically, I would do my input, which would be, hey, there's I'm unable to complete this assignment because of this very technical issue. I know you're a non-technical person, but I'm just going to word vomit this. Basically, we have two services that can't interact with each other because the API interfaces don't actually mesh together. There's a handful of solutions that we could do that are all very technical, but I would like to find a time to discuss it with you. I know that the deadline for this project is coming up at the end of the week and that really hardcore time right now. We got to get this done, but this is something that's totally unavoidable and I want to have a conversation about it. Then I would submit it and then I would get the output. So in this case, hey, I'm encountering a technical issue with the assignment that I need to discuss with you. We have two services whose API interfaces are not compatible, preventing them from interacting as required. blah, blah, blah. The whole idea is then I'm able to copy it onto my clipboard and then send it in Slack or send it as an email. Then when I'm done, I just throw it away and I move on with my life. One other way that I've been using bursts is in almost chaining different prompts and outputs. So for example, if I'm in my daily journal and I go to my project query and I want all the themes, I can then copy all of those themes and take it into a burst. So let's say I have a very structured way of how I want information presented. I can then copy and paste that within the app and have AI rewrite it in the context of work. And I have a very structured output of how I would expect it to be written. That's pretty much it for this release. Thinking forward, I feel like this actually captures the majority of the features that I want to build. Second thought has always been about helping me think better and more efficiently. The way that it's really changed from this journaling app that it started as to now this help me communicate better app, I think it's really found its niche in my life. There's two major parts to this. First is the ability to just do this one and done reusable user flow, which are now bursts. The second is aggregating a bunch of thoughts in particular projects and then creating more well-structured, well-architected presentations of information. And now that the app can kind of do both of those things, I think that moving forward for now, a lot of the changes will just be polishing these user flows and using it more and seeing how it feels. As always, thank you so much for helping me work on this app and beta test it and for all your support. It's really exciting to work on it and I find it really fulfilling. And I hope that you do too.